Molnage, High Queen Sea Devil of the Deadfire. Unfortunately, also the second best ship hunter around. After yours truly, of course. Doxy popped a hard-on and a half for hating me the tick I joined the Sorcerer. Romaro shielded me from the worst of her training. When they bountied him, I figured for sure the Rat Queen would be the first rat up the gangplank. Molnage be up in Romaro's head or I've never had a roll on the waves. She finds him for us. She'll sink him soon as sighted. Come on, Cap.
Sounds kinky. I was born ready.
Care for a fish or two, stranger? Today's catch, ripped straight from the hands of the salty wench. You'll find no fresher. Have a look.
Welcome! Venturing out past the city. You'll want supplies, crab traps or the like for larger game, I warrant. Of course, take your time.
No need to thank me.
Redora must think I work for free. Be with you in just a... Almost had it. Damn your eyes. Hazard of the work, really. Came in on the sloop? I can hammer your ship together if you're apt to pay me for it. Aye. Captain Redora hasn't paid me for her commissioned firepower. While I'm up to my nose in debt, the wild mare gobbles up her coin. And now, pirates are holding my feet to the fire over some sham of a deal. If I don't get Redora's payment, I might as well start carving my swallow net. Because I've got a backlog of work through the next turning of the wheel. And I'm old, damn it. These hips won't carry me to the mare and back without a fight.
In other words, we need to go to the Wild Mare. Well, that's just fine and dandy.
Mare's a right popular place. There are worse favors I could ask. One where I mend principy ships and no others.
And here I'd have thought a shipwright would be eager for an exclusive contract. In particular, one with clients disposed towards getting their ships shot to shit and shot again.
Folk like that come by coin easy, only to lose it all again. I'm not sinking my business on the say-so of a pack of puffed-up bilge rats. Bastards are driving away business until I give in. Aye, but only once she fesses up that she doesn't have the coin. Call me a fool for holding out hope. She's an old client and a friend. You do that? A fair price goes without saying, Cully. It all comes down to blasted pans and pyres in the end, doesn't it? Well, come take a look. What can I do for you? Oh.
but what's... Gone shepherds us all, traveler. Seek out his temple along the sacred stair, that thy path shall be made clear.
Where is my post in Medico? Where is that spoiled brat? I'm trying to be the responsible one in the family, and it's a heavy burden. Laro is past due for a company meeting. Mother wants me to drag the elusive louse back by his ear.
Must be nice to be a layabout. Uncle Engbert would have tanned my hide.
Fuck. I am angry and jealous in equal measure. You'd think this district was a maze, the way he manages to hide. The spirit magnet. Sientere, that I did not recognize you. If you desire to get in the graces of the Valiant Trading Company, we can help each other. Mother's bank commands the wealth of the Deadfire campaign. Could I persuade you to watch out for Laro? I'd pay generously for your trouble. I'm concerned because Laro tends to feud with Orso, one of the local Valera rats. The Valeras, a brood of sea vermin playing at nobility. We squabble and compete, but Laro, the Pastenago, takes it too far. It's Ali Bardato. The Valiant Trading Company leans on her to finance their mission. If only more of her offspring were as accomplished. Così. I only manage the family business. Better to ask why Laro isn't sprinting back to look after his birthright. Fuck, consider it done. There. Laro and his miscreant friends carouse at the tavern, the falls above the Adra Mill, and the southwestern bridge. If you see him, tell Laro to get his good-for-nothing ass back home.
Well, we do have this thing with chasing a rogue god to the ends of Aora, but I guess if it's on the way.
Well met, stranger. If you feel like investing in protection, I'd be willing to trade iron for copper. I assure you that everything I sell is well crafted. But I will admit I'm not quite the weaponsmith that Marihi is, nor do I possess Uto's expertise with firearms. Marihi you can find in Periki's Overlook, the district to the north. Uto has a shop in the Brass Citadel, in the eastern part of Nekataka. Lots to see. Take your time.
Spice? Hey, Spice. I've got magic. What did I tell you?
I have already dislodged one trespasser from my head. I've no interest in another.
Sorry, lad. Thought that chip on your shoulder were for all to see.
Do you ever have a thought and just decide to keep it to yourself?
More'n you know, my dear mate. More'n you know.
I've got magic fingers. You're very welcome. Come take a look at this. I've got magic finger. No need to... Knock, knock. You're very welcome.
We're full up, I'm afraid. If you're looking for lodging, you'll have to hope there's room at the tavern. We do indeed. Forgive me if I mistook you for a tenant. There are quarters set aside upstairs. Passers-by with a bit of extra coin will find a welcome cot and a meal. This is a temporary measure, of course. It's not my place to share the dealings of the Valera family, but this is all rather public. Suffice it to say that a family in want of coin might find alternate means of securing their finances. In the case of this estate, that means renting the occasional room. No shame in making a practical sacrifice. But I've said enough. Speak with Otello if you have business with the Valera household. You'll find Otello Valera upstairs in his study. Well, as they say, business can always be better, yes? I'm sure I needn't bore you with the details.
A Lloyd's foot and an heavy bullet, our Cap.
Let's just keep this our little secret. Look what I found. Knock, knock. Knock, knock. What did I tell you?
Not exactly my area of expertise.
I've got magic fingers. Tips are always...
Ah, a new face in the Valera halls. Courtly manners are welcome here. My time is not inexhaustible, but I am willing to spare it. What can I do for you? Valera ships escort goods and merchants from island to island across Deadfire. The Principe dogs show us their stern whenever they spot Valera colors on the horizon.
Leave it to a swabby from the Republics to think a pirate showing them their rear be a compliment.
A new face to the Valera halls. And aren't we all so excited to see you? I always make time for chatter. Say what you will. Is drama an acceptable answer? I make sure the wine cellar is stocked, and that sons and daughters alike know how to carry a blade.
Sure thing. Watch and learn, Vax.
You must gather your party
I've
before
got this.
venturing forth.
Have you heard about the commotion at the palace?
Of course. Something about Luminous Adra.
A giant made of Luminous Adra.
All I know is that they're all at each other's throats up there.
You both attest that you have made all possible efforts to come to a peaceful...
Who is this Nasenale? How many cousins do you have or so?
Postenago. Does that look like any cousin of mine?
How should I know? Your kin lie with eels.
We have business. What do you want? The family keeps you on a tight leash, Laro. Will getting impaled on a Valera blade prove something to them?
What's your words of? You want the Juana to know we're dueling?
My bad so to the tribals. We should be free to settle matters on Valiant terms.
Small wonder the old empire collapsed in civil strife if
This is the Valiant way.
And how do your colonies fare, Adira?
This street thug called my family a warren of corrupt inbreds. But is there a dung heap in all the world that does not have a little Valera cousin scratching through it?
That wolf he calls mother would have us live out our days polishing Bardato silver.
Miller! Scatter!
What? Where are you going, you stuffed shirt? Hey, wait! This isn't over, you coward! You can't hide behind your corrupt mother forever!
Out for trouble or taking in the sights?
Laro has returned to the estate intact. Perfetto. Too much Bardato blood has been spilled in the name of Vengiata. Ak, nothing has been solved, only delayed. Here, for your discretion. You have not met Mother, have you? I'm certain she'll have work for someone invested in the family.
You need me. Sure thing. Sure, why not? Come take a look at this. I've got magic. You're very welcome. No need to... Our little secret.
Ah, yes. The newcomer. I thought you might visit.
I've got... What did I tell you?
Lady Izali Bardato. Custom dictates, I say, at your service. But I have not the time for such lies. You saw my son dueling with the Valera boy. At least he survives to learn from his mistakes. When Valera and Bardato cross each other, only blood and sorrow remain. Perhaps in time, if great Wodika judges us worthy of supporting the company. Word has spread fast about the little spectacle at the docks. You've certainly caught everyone's attention. Perhaps the Watcher of Kadnua and House Bardato can help one another. Then ask, but do not waste my day with trivialities. Are you still with me? I'd venture that you're working too hard. Because we do not belong in the same business. The Valeras are opportunists reaping the rewards of happenstance. They're little better than the pirates they're charged with slaying.
Better is self-deception, mayhaps.
Ugh. My bank shoulders the cost of the Valiant Trading Company's operations in the Deadfire. It is said that no Valiant may wipe themselves unless a Bardato signature approves it first.
If that's true, we gotta stop shaking hands with them.
I'm certain you've touched worse, farmhand. Betello doesn't make my affairs any easier with his wayward ambitions. Oh dear. You're serious, aren't you? You think I'd put myself in pistol range of that old imp? I think you overestimate how much of my trust you currently enjoy. More pleasant subjects, I hope. Betello doesn't make my affairs any easier, doesn't it? This is no surprise to me. Fortunately, Attello has fewer resources to expend than I do. More pleasant subjects, I hope. Queen's Beth whispers of a Valera plot against my family. Something grander than pointless duels. You are a newcomer to the Deadfire, uniquely positioned to loosen Valera tongues. Zilly Valera strums a lute by the watchtowers, a meek-tempered boy, fonder of song and drink than the family business. He might spill something of his family's affairs. The governor is interested in how much luminous adder we can export. Nothing else matters. To that end, I look forward to the day when we won't need Valera thugs backing our interests. I'll have it taken care of at once. There. May it open doors for you. Try not to alert the Valeras of our knowledge. That is the point of involving an outside agent.
You have an appointment to see the vault, sir? The Bardatos are a banking family, Mestre. We hold a great many accounts belonging to our fellows within the Valiant Trading Company. We also safeguard those valuables they entrust to our keeping. A matter you may discuss with the lady, upstairs.
The Hazanui is at the palace, blaming the Valiants for attacking one of their ports.
Well, did they?
Of course not. But the Queen must calm them down before they go to war over it.
Well met, stranger. Akira, but isn't this district a fine place? I am not one meant to venture far from the gullet. Until recently, I had a respectable job at the Luminous Bathhouse. Now that I am unemployed, I seek to make myself useful before the money runs out, and I must return to the Roparu as a pauper. More happens at the bathhouse than cleanliness and ease. It is a place of meetings, business, and transactions, to all of which the attendants are either blind or deaf. One day, I overheard more than I ought to have. In my erring, I gasped. To my great shame, I showed a most unprofessional reaction before clients. I was fired, and rightly so. The Queen granted this area of the city to the Valiant outsiders. Here they organized their business and trade, digging up the archipelago with both hands and carrying riches overseas. In her welcoming embrace, the Queen allowed a similar concession to the Royal Deadfire Company. You would do well to see as much of Nekataka while you are here, I am thinking. A wonderful place. Would that I could cross its threshold again and feel the mist of luminous waters. In spite of my time there, I cannot do else but give it my highest recommendation. You will find the Luminous Bathhouse in Periki's Overlook. Akira, you want to follow the road north, up the mountain, always climbing. It is the highest point in the city.
What this is?
That's it. Knock, knock. What did I tell you?
A light's foot and an heavy bullet, our cap.
Oh, hello. Welcome to my shop. It's such a pleasure to see a new face. How might I assist you? Oh, I am a cartographer. I make maps. I'm not half bad at it either. And may the gods forgive my immodesty for saying so. If you need a map of any settled region of the Deadfire, I am your man. And my commission rates are quite generous. It used to be I would take to the sea and do a bit of charting myself, but I haven't the time. Too many maps need making. A shame, too. There's a whole swath of the Deadfire I've yet to see. I'm quite keen to write a book, in fact. Oh, but I won't trouble you about that. Excuse my nattering on, won't you? You think so? He is a magnificent beast, isn't he? He's been a bit low lately. Between you and me, I think he's heartsick for the sea. Sometimes. Married to the work, you know? I just get so engrossed in my maps. And next I know, it's morning. Sharing a bed with a few maps is a good sight better than sharing with Caleb, I'll tell you that. He always hogs the blankets. I'm putting together an explorer's account of the Deadfire. Or at least the part of it Queen Onekaza's tribe has laid claim to. My book will be the first of its kind. The Explorers Club will go mad for it. Or, well, that was the idea. It's a fiercely dangerous enterprise, in point of fact, and nobody will agree to chart the islands for me. You'd think ship captains would be a bold-hearted bunch. I offered fair recompense. I'm not exactly the most powerful fighter, or I do it all myself. Still, wouldn't it be wonderful? An explorer's guide to the Deadfire. Someday. Do you mean it? This is... Wow! I can't thank you enough. It's a lot of ground, I mean water to cover, and some of these islands are in very dangerous waters. Don't worry, I planned it all out. We'll get your feet wet first. With a little experience under your belt, I'm sure you'll get a taste for it. Nothing will stop us. I mean, you. The idea is to explore all the islands that haven't been charted yet, or even named. That falls to you, amigo. You can't tell me you've never wanted to name your own island. I thought we could start with the waters around the company outpost at Port Maggi. There are 2 islands in the region, and nobody's taken much notice of them yet. Once you're back, I'll start filling in my map and adding your findings to the book. Oh, this will be wonderful. Welcome back, welcome back. It is a pleasure to see you once again. Tell me, how is the sailing? Smooth? Nothing to delay your expedition, I hope. How might I assist you? Certainly, certainly. It would be my pleasure. Of course, it's mostly books and knickknacks. Maps I do on commission, you see.
If you told me a few years ago that I'd end up following you on another crazy errand, I'd have said you were out of your mind. Not because I got anything against you, more that trouble seems to come looking for you wherever you go. Yet, here we are again, probably on our way to die. Well, you already did, but me, I mean. All real nice of you to share. Someday I'll have to get you a gift. And wouldn't you know it, this time is shaping up to be crazier than the last one. But I gotta say, I appreciate how you've handled things. Times like these, staying decent's not as easy as it sounds. Thought you were weird at first, of course, but you've surprised me. Well, that's why I mention it. Sometimes it's been anything but. I've been meaning to ask, though. How is it you never seem to lose your way through all this? What is it tells you you're on the right path? Hard to argue with that. And I might get some strange looks if I did. When I was a boy, things were simpler. Aethys was more like a character we read about in church. Yeah, I guess it was. Well, most stories had him helping folks or making the world work as it should. You pray to him, he might help you too. There was no cost to it. No confusion about his will or followers taken into extremes. Following Aethys was right. Had no reason to question. Do you think there's any way that following him could still be the right path? After all we've seen? I guess we'll see what he has in store soon enough. If we make it that far. Anyway, I didn't mean for this to get depressing. I think this was just a long way of saying I appreciate the way you've guided things. Makes me feel like I'm doing some good, going with you.
The Queen is holding court today with the Valiant and Rowattians.
How long before they're killing each other?
Wager on it?
I'll see what I can find.
Will my eyes be open? must be open.
Spy? You spies?
If you are here about the taxes, tell the Queen... Oh, you are not the tax collector. What business brings you to my mill? Okay? You go around asking just anyone in Queensbirth personal questions, maybe you end up dead in a ditch. Have caution, eh? Lucky for you, I am a woman of honor. I direct luminous milling for the Valiant Trading Company. It's a nice job, huh? And I'm quite good at it. You want to know more? Buy me a drink first, per guano. We mill luminous, of course. Take big chunks, break into smaller chunks, crush into dust-sized chunks. Per complancanet, it is really not so complicated. Ha! I need a large country estate and several handsome women to fan me with palm fronds. It is good for the heart to dream impossible dreams, yes? The Adra belongs to the Valiant Trading Company, amico. Unless you plan to open a bathhouse to rival the one in Periki's Overlook, we will take no orders from you. I cannot. Good day.
Aloth, is there any way you can bring Islamir back?
The whole point of suppressing her was to keep her out of my head.
I miss her impressions. Oh, if she could do this one of you.
Which she did over and over.
Was real good, though. She could do all your twitching, your squeaky voice when you got nervous.
No need to thank me.
Avast, ground filth! Why disturb Lord Admiral, eh? Eh? I'm not doing anything wrong! Eh? Go away! Boat! Eh? Lord Admiral has fleet! Blast filthy ground stink city! Start with you, eh? Get him, cullies!
I guess.
That's unusual.
Knock, knock. Tips are always appreciated.
When I was little, me and my brothers used to spend hours chasing each other through the Merkberry fields. Don't think a day went by I didn't have a skinned knee or a bleeding elbow.
Oh, we did that sometimes. Only my brother usually had a hand in the bleeding.
He older or younger than you? Either way, I bet he's just as strapping.
Older. Was older. Then Raid Sarah's invaded.
Oh, of course, it's gone, but I'm so sorry.
Come take a look at this.
See something you like? Aloth, this is the last place I expected to see you. Have your interests changed so much since our time at Bragon Hill?
No, I still enjoy tile puzzles and deflecting personal questions. Anyway, what are you doing here?
I could ask the same of you. I make my own hours, meet fascinating people, and the coin's nothing to sneer at. Better than stuffy old books and unflattering robes. It's good to see you again, Aloth. Anyway, I should get back to it. Be well.
It was lovely seeing you. Perhaps lovely is too strong a word. I meant pleasant. Perfectly agreeable. I can see where I may have confused the poor fellow in our academy days.
Did you enjoy the show? There's more to see, if you're interested. I suppose. I was raised in the Adir Empire. When I was young, I studied to be an arcane knight. After an incident at my school, I left the continent and wandered until I found myself in Nekataka. As you can see, I stayed. A handful of my fellow students got up to a bit of mischief that ended with several people dead. Did you enjoy the show? I suppose. I was raised in the Adir Empire, same as any of the courtesans here, I imagine. I showed an aptitude. I trained with a master, and when I was ready, I began accepting clients of my own. There is more to every story. But the rest of it belongs to me, and I don't care to share it. Ah, the money-minded type. I've always found fiscal responsibility very attractive. My time will cost you 150 copper, friend.
I feel like I should have a problem with this, but mostly I just kind of want to see where this goes.
Follow me, then. I wouldn't mind seeing you again, so long as you come with coin.
Meet me in my room if you'd like to hear a verse or two.
Knock, knock. You're very...
I will give you an experience you won't soon forget. I must assume the question beneath your question is how a fire godlike came to find herself in a place such as this. Perseverance. Being as I am, I have been forced to find it for myself. Now I teach it to others. To live in a world as a thinking, feeling creature, it is difficult. It demands strength. But we cannot always be strong. I help those who have lost their strength to find it again. $300 copper. I know it's a bit more than most, but my service is like nothing you will find anywhere else in Nekataka.
Come to seek ablutions for your sins? Ha! Get it? Ablutions? Absolution? Ha! I crack myself up. Gets me every time. Massage? Bath? Whatever you need. Just ask. 250 copper. Soaps, oils, fresh linens, all included. Best massage in Nekataka. That's what they tell me anyway. Oh, no, these old bones. You know how it is. I wouldn't want to hurt myself. Or you, for that matter. Oh, you don't want to hear about that. I lived a boring life, so there wouldn't be much to the telling. Truth be told, my real passion is pottery. Trouble is, I got these big hands. Ha! Not meant for delicate work. Worked out in the end, of course. Now I specialize in relieving tension in the Maua and death godlike. I guess I can't hide my feelings as well as I thought I could. The stability's good and all, but I haven't seen anything that gets my blood pumping in ages. You know what I mean? Doing the same old thing day in, day out. It's enough to make a man leap from the nearest window. Where to? No kidding. I like to see something like that for myself. Do you think I could come with you? Just for a bit? Hell, you don't have to tell me twice.
I'll be shoving off then, Cap.
Sure thing.
Why not?
Can you lift the sword?
Need some? Why not?
You say I cannot down the rest? Watch me, amico. Medico, it is no wonder I thirst. Ado, why do you stare? Grassima, even in the oasis I am parched. If you grant wishes, there is a vacancy on my ship. Sientere, frero. Next time around the wheel, perhaps. The fun ran dry with the coin. When the dancers see more than an empty purse, I will be a content Rador. Merla, and he hired muscle. Sientere, but you are too late to collect. A gang in the northern alley stole every coin. I cannot hire a crew, much less repay Zamar. If they wanted Zamar to thirst for coin, it is possible. Botzos will regret it when I turn my cannons to their mast. Wizard lights drew me like a moth to the alley north of the Wild Mare. And the blow to the back of the head that followed, Merla, it hurt. Then a wolf sat on my chest while a group of thugs went through my pockets. It growled like a thunderstorm and drooled on my uniform. I stumbled back here and traded all I had left for the comforts of the mare. Belfetto, the gods smile on you. con Blanca, but now I am sober again. When you got their leader, tell them Radora sent you.
Where in the blazes is that old man?
Ado, my friend. I knew our paths would cross eventually. Que? No, you mistake me. I am not one of the courtesans. Tell me, you are the one who sails that fine ship, Ak? Terrorize the docks with spirits, Ak? I am Aboko, and I am positioned to offer... I have opportunities for... Thousand times I practiced my speech. Merda. Never did it go this poorly. Agrasima, do you know what my problem is, amico? I am supposed to be in the business of giving bounties, but I know no one who hunts them. No one will unfurl their sail for my humble payments. But I must start from the bottom and work my way to the top, Ak? You will take the job? You will take the job. Agrasima. Something special for my first hunter, then. I will start you on Merier, the mad animancer. She tortures her victims with unspeakable treatments before casting what's left to Berath's will. My contact saw her leaving Port Mage and heading west of Mage Island. My first bounty to pay off. An exciting day for us both. Maybe it's not much, but as I make more deals, more pyres will be available, Ak? I finally managed to land the rights to a bounty of value. You may not like it. There is a thirsty drake who roosts near an oasis northeast of Mage Island. An important site for refilling canteens. The local tribes call him Purakeo, after a sea dragon of legend. Even so, they have no love for this water thief. Agrasima, you have but to ask. It is true that I have stumbled in my career path. Now that I have such an accomplished hunter, I can stand in the long shadow of your success. It's not all bad, but the momentum of meeting new clients over drinks and in such enchanting company, it drains the stamina, my friend.
Hail and welcome to the Wild Mare, friend. Now, what can I do for you? You see anything you like, you let me know. Now, what can I do? You're in luck, friend. The Wild Mare employs a number of courtesans skilled in satisfying a wide range of tastes and interests. You'll find them upstairs. They handle their own coin too, so no need to go through me. Be seeing you.
Have you seen an old elf hanging around here lately? Dresses funny, probably drunker than an eel in a barrel of mead. That old goose punter owes me a fair bit of coin. $5,000 coppers, if you'd believe it. And if you give me my money back, I'll give you a 20% share as thanks. Fine, Andra's great sagging tits, fine. You can have 40% and rights to whatever baubles Oswald has on him. How about this? I give you 60% and we never discuss this again. The drunk old goat I was pestering you about, Oswald. Like the credulous fool I am, I gave him a loan and he ran off before paying me back. Haggling for the fun of it, not keeping you busy enough? The man I'm looking for, Oswald, was especially fond of one of the courtesans upstairs, Alice. Maybe you can get more out of her than I can. She refuses to speak to me, the snippy little cur. She wasn't receptive to my particular charms. Let's see you do better. Maybe you can get more out of her than I can. She refuses to speak to me, the snippy little... Get a thrill out of snooping in others' things, do you? Me too. You wouldn't believe what my sister keeps in her vanity. Oh, Oswald, you've really stepped in it now, haven't you? Getting mixed up with Woodikins? You damned old fool. Where could they have taken him? Not really. To be honest, I spent most of the trip out from Defiance Bay bent over the bulwark giving Andra a taste of my innards. I hate boats. Damn, if only I could find that captain who gave us passage to the Deadfire. Bet he'd know. Wait a tick. When our ship neared Nekataka, the bosun told me about a weird temple on an island in the Karatapu Channel, southwest of the city. She wouldn't tell me what it was for, though. Got real spooked when I asked. Go take a look then, and let me know what you find. With any luck, you'll catch the old goat there in one piece, and we'll both leave here with some weight in our purse.
For shanties these days.
What have you been up to, Aloth, since we left Twin Elms?
Oh, quite a lot. I've been around the Eastern Reach, traveled to Old Valera.
Is that right? Well, who took you there?
I'm perfectly capable of traveling on my own, you know.
Of course I know that. Just never seen it is all.
Yeah? Whatever you need.
Merla, how is every ship hunter taken?
A giant? One of the Rathun?
No, much bigger. Such is the rumor.
Sounds like sailor tales to me.
Apologies, Lord, if I intrude upon your peace. Inspiration eludes me still. If you are after some scenery, I suggest the far end of the bridge. It smells better when the wind blows in from the sea, of course. Oh, sure. What about? Guess that means you've spent at least an hour or two in town. Not like Martino does, no. My uncle works hard to prove we're not thieves or murderers. I fear that Persa's going to ruin that for us. She's in the thick of something too big for her. I caught cousin Persa running her mouth off about the job Belder got her involved in. Persa's been spending time in the gullet, in the tavern down there. Maybe she could tell you more. Sorry, I guess you got a mouthful, huh? I really ought to get back to my loot.
Need something? Why not?
In the market for decent footwear? You won't find any cat leather around in my shop. Some of us hold ourselves to a higher standard. Of course. Come take a look.
Folks.
So which one of you wants to die first?
That hardly seems fair.
Big finish. I've got this.
I only deal with serious clients. Now, shoo. A serious brute. I can see this from here. Madiko, that it is impossible to find skilled work when every competent freelancer wastes their shore leave in the wild mare. When blood travels south of their brains, the value of a good bounty is forgotten. You, a nameless face of the streets? I do not make a habit of shepherding new talent, but there is a seed of potential. We will cut your teeth on Biakara, a Huana sailor and would-be patriot who plagues company ships. Gelarde! Biakara sails a voyager's scale of Tangaloa off of Hasongo's northeastern coast. Questions? Ask your questions, Aimiko. But I blame Luminous Adra. Our privateers are busy escorting shipments out of the Deadfire. Everyone is rich, no one is hungry. Where are the Casitas willing to sink their enemies for a bag of pyres, huh? Drunk on success. But you have your quarry already. Once the target is sunk, come back to me for another. But too much
We can summon the guards if you want to be difficult, Aimiko. Kindly leave.
If Luca doesn't see reason, the Duape will lose their lands. For their sake, I must... Please, I must ask a favor. What say? Do you have business with the Valiant Trading Company? My people of the Duape. We signed a contract with the company. We were not understanding the terms at the time. I wish to, what say, renegotiate. But the clerks turned me away. My father, the Ranga, took payment from the company. In exchange, they dig for Adra. He did not understand the Valiant way. When he dies, the Outlanders will claim our island for themselves. Father has fallen ill, and the clerk, Luca, stands by the agreement as surely as if it was stamped in his skin. Akira, already this treatment is not so unusual. I made my appeals to Luca, but my words were as stones dropped down the deepest well. While I am barred from the company office, I can do nothing for my people. I showed Luca a new contract, yes? Fairer, more agreeable terms. Luca called me a criminal and summoned his guards. A man in the gullet offered to assist me. He carried papers, ink, and wax. He helped to write a new contract in the Valiant way and to fix the correct seals. Luca, I say he did not like this. He took my contract and forced me into the streets. I do not know this word. I would fix, but Luca will not give me the chance. Negotiating with outsiders has not gone my way. Luca has it secured in a chest. Tangaloa's draws such trouble for parchment, I say. Akira, my thanks. I will remain here by day until justice is done.
It's still going on, is it? When will those arrogant louts decide that enough is enough?
Look what I found.
Has been raving ever since they moved in next door. Imagine them as neighbors.
It's a point of pride, I suppose, having the bigger house in the district.
Pride? I wouldn't count on either of them having much of that in stock. Something we can help you with, sir?
Have you been walking through Queen's Birth with your eyes closed? Or have you simply failed to notice the trouble between the Bardato and Valera families?
You did? Oh, stop it! No, don't stop there. Tell us more. We've been cooped up in this office all day, and the only intrigue to be had is what precious little goes by our windows. Ah, but isn't that noble of you? Come then, we can't let the good word simply wither on the vine.
Knock, knock. Look what I found. I've got magic fingers. You're very welcome.
Watch your step.
You need good thinking. Spice? Any spice? Sure, why not? I was born. You don't want? I've got this.
If you're here on company business, then I will fit you into my schedule. The servers at the tavern are clumsy. Most clumsy indeed. Stumbling from the street, I see. This is the heart of the Valiant Trading Company. You would know that if you had a reason to be here. From her office, Governor Alvari carries out the will of the Songretta Mea Compressa. We clerks are the fingers of their long reach. Ak, a lawful claim, I might add, no matter what the native says to the contrary. He showed up with a forged contract, as if I wouldn't know the difference between our paperwork and theirs. Tawenu is lucky I only seized the forgery. The galley is too good for his kind. Your villager friend would do well not to stand between the company and our prize. The company is allowed to solve problems as we see fit. And right now, Tawenu is a problem. Besides, lying is second nature to the Ranga heir and his ignorant cliente. Simple enough. We take on the burden of caring for the tribe in exchange for luminous Adra rights. Tawenu is myopic if he thinks his tribe can thrive under a Ranga in this climate. This is the homeland they signed away for money, Ak. I can almost guarantee the company will put it to more dignified use. This is... Ak, true enough. But breaking a contract for diplomacy's sake is simply not done. I would be remiss to uphold one contract to the detriment of our operation. Go on, then. Some of us have more important duties.
That's easy.
Eccoci. You have business here? Governor Lueva Alvari. Governor Alvari manages the company's day-to-day operations. As you can imagine, this makes her a very busy woman. Keep the all clear, please.
Good day, too.
our little secret. I've got magic fingers. What did I tell you?
I'll see what I can find.
My body, good thinking.
Yes?
I was born ready. Let's do this. Spice? You spice? My body is all yours.
Just a moment. There we are. So, did Alvari send you? I'm putting together the numbers. You will have to be patient. Well, you're no clerk. Sientere, Watcher. I was preoccupied. Do not take it personally. They put me in this side office for a reason. Oleska Sarasso, advisor. And you are the Watcher that frightened the harbor master. Did you get turned around? I can't imagine what you'd want from me. Put plainly, I am an advisor to the director. I keep the books in order and offer advice on the operations of the fleet. Profits, losses, all here. I have a better head for numbers than for small talk, I'm afraid. It isn't personal. It is nice to be asked, I suppose. I hardly ever get anyone in here unless they need help with their sums. That is true, but hardly anyone says so. I have been lucky to reach this position. I enjoy the work, and it is clear that I am needed. Being useful, it is a good feeling. I only handle the numbers, sir. If you are looking for work, you should speak with Governor Alvari. Her office is downstairs, towards the back. Ado, Watcher, are you never homesick? I would do anything for a good, home-cooked Valiant dinner. What can I do for you today, Watcher? I will not lie. Our fortunes dwindle. I must ask the director for some clarity on these figures. I cannot imagine why they are so low. I can spare a few moments. While the Songreta is away, Cantaniro is the company's highest authority on the island, but he mainly concerns himself with diplomatic affairs. For the usual business, you want the director. Well, it is funded and so controlled by the Songreta Mea Compresa. I can tell you that much. A council of 11 investors. Dukes, nobles, not all from the Republic's mind, but all very important people. Ah, them. Gods, they've been at each other's throats from the start. And ask if anyone cares one speck why it started. We should have left these feuds back in the Republics. The Bardatos are some of our most valued investors. The Valera family makes its business in pirate hunting, and they have an open contract to keep the waters around Nekataka clear. But they spend more time plotting against one another. A waste.
Sure thing. Knock, knock. No need to applaud. fine, but knock knock. No need to applaud. I've gotten. Tips are always appreciated.
Yes. You're in luck. The governor is between meetings. Go on in.
I've got magic fingers. What did I tell you? Sure.
An interesting surprise. The Watcher of Cadnoa, no? I am told that is your ship in the harbor. Ikosi, I mean nothing by it. All newcomers are of great interest here. I am Nueva Alvari, Governor-in-Residence of the Valiant Trading Company here in Nekataka. What brings you to my door? An interesting question. Director Castol concerns himself with the business of the Valiant Trading Company as a whole. He must coordinate our operations across the entire region. I am afraid you must deal with me for the time being. You seek work, information. These are things I can help you with. Well, the Valiant Trading Company has been here in Nekataka for many decades now. Its main interest is in the mining of luminous Adra, for which we have negotiated with numerous tribes for access to the Adra sites and, where possible, labor. The company also engages in more mundane lines of trade, of course. Ultimately, we are merchants. Work suited to a watcher. Your arrival presents an opportunity. How much do you know about the Adra trade? Perhaps. We are concerned foremost with providing a return on our shareholders' investments by way of refined luminous Adra. Every viable deposit is of interest to us, cartographers, surveyors. At any moment, we have a dozen expeditions underway. Some weeks ago, we received word of a large quantity of luminous Adra on a distant island. Pukukahara. It is not charted on any of our maps. However, Pukukahara is said to neighbor the island of Tikawara, and we've already made contact with the natives there. We dispatched an expedition to Tikawara with instructions to locate the Adra site and determine its value. Our people have neither returned nor sent any word on their progress. We are too long delayed, and someone must finish the job. A watcher can determine if there is essence in the Adra, if it is worth the trouble and investment to remove it. Information for which we are willing to pay. Not much, unfortunately. A few superstitions among the locals, but they're unusually tight-lipped about the subject. Ideally, but if the worst has come to pass, I would like you to complete the investigation of the Adra deposit. Anything that may assist the company. Gelade, I will mark Tikawara on your map. We have had no real trouble with the villagers in the past, but I always recommend caution. This will be of some use to you, I think. It entitles you to act as a commissioned agent of the Valiant Trading Company. Present it and you will be recognized as such. Until then, I believe we're finished. Return here once you have word of our agents and our prize. Oh, and Take care upon the open sea. There are greater hazards in these waters than a few pirates.
Akira, you return. What say, friend? I will be going nowhere.
I was born red. Let's do good thinking.
Akira, you return. What say, friend? Akira, I cannot believe. A light after our long sorrow. My village is modest, but I came prepared. I set aside a few gems for trading. They are yours by right. You are a friend of the Duape. We do not forget.
Come closer, Watcher. We should speak. And here I thought Tawenu would hold vigil on the company's stoop until the last shard of Audra was dredged up from the ruins of his village. Sometimes it pays to be wrong. Plenty of folk disagreed with you, it seems. I wonder, what makes you so different? The Valiant Trading Company is so fixated on incremental profits that by the time they make any real headway, Rawatai will own every island in all but name. And the Hawana are so gullible that their loyalties will be spread across 500,000 contracts, and nothing but black powder will remind them who truly owns Deadfire. Stop by the Royal Deadfire District sometime. Rawatai needs men and women of action to represent our interests, and I can see a promising career for someone like you.
Good thinking.
I don't know how you and the Watchers sleep. Carrying all those souls around.
Some nights it's the lantern that lulls me to sleep. It pulses like a heart in my hand.
If you find that comforting, then I'm glad for you.